Hello, friends. If you or your mom, your dad, anyone you love, still get a Social Security paper check in the mailbox, that check is on its way out. And the switch is happening whether you act or not. Miss the step I'm about to show you, and a payment can stall for weeks. And I don't mean days, I mean a full benefit cycle, where the money that pays your rent and your prescriptions simply doesn't arrive. Stay with me until number 6, because that's the one almost everyone gets completely backwards, and it's costing people real money. Sometimes a slow leak of fees, sometimes an entire check. Number 1. This rule is not a rumor, and it is already in effect. On September 30th, 2025, the federal government stopped routinely issuing Social Security paper checks. This comes from Executive Order 14,247, which directs Washington to move nearly all federal payments to electronic methods. So this isn't a bank telling you what to do. And it isn't a scam text. It's a real federal order, and Social Security is carrying it out right now, through 2026, for everyone still on paper. Here's why they pushed so hard. A single paper check now costs the government about $3.07 to print and mail, roughly 20 times what an electronic payment costs, which runs under 15 cents. Multiply that gap across millions of monthly payments and you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Worse for you, a paper check is about 16 times more likely to be lost, stolen, altered, or returned than a direct deposit. Think about that. 16 times. Consider a retiree whose $1.900 check was lifted from an unlocked mailbox, washed with cheap chemicals, and recashed by a thief. She waited over 6 weeks for a replacement while her landlord threatened eviction. That's more than $2,800 in benefits frozen over 2 payment cycles, on top of a late rent fee. Every month that check sits in a mailbox is a month somebody could do exactly that. Fewer than 1% of beneficiaries were still on paper at the deadline, which sounds tiny until you realize that 1% is hundreds of thousands of older Americans, and they are exactly the people fraud rings target first. If that's you, you are now in a shrinking group. The agency is actively trying to move. The action step. Don't wait for a letter. Assume the change applies to you and mark this week on your calendar as the week you handle it. Number 2, you have exactly 2 legitimate ways to keep getting paid, and picking one takes about 10 minutes. Option 1 is direct deposit straight into your own checking or savings account at a bank or credit union. Your money lands on your payment date, no envelope, no trip to the bank. Option 2 is for people who don't have a bank account at all, the Direct Express card. That's a Treasury-issued prepaid debit card. Your benefit loads onto the card each month, and you swipe it like any debit card at the store, the pharmacy, the ATM. To switch, you have 2 doors. Call Social Security directly at 1-800-772-1213. Have your bank's 9-digit routing number and your account number in front of you, and they'll set up direct deposit on the phone. Or, if you're comfortable online, go to SSA.gov and open a free My Social Security account, and you can change your payment method yourself in a few clicks. Here's the mistake that burns people. They transpose 2 digits of the account number, the deposit bounces back, and the fix adds another 30 to 60 days. One man read his numbers off an old, closed account by mistake and lost a full month while it sorted out. A $1,600 check bounced back to the Treasury, and he lived on a credit card until it reissued. Read the numbers off a current check or your bank's app. Repeat them back digit by digit and confirm. And do it before the check stops coming. Don't wait, then panic, then call while you're staring at a gap with no money in the account. Set it up before you need it, not after. Number 3, and here's your reminder to stick around for number 6 because it flips everything you'd assume about that Direct Express card. But first, the exceptions. Because yes, a small number of people can still legally receive a paper check. The Treasury allows waivers in specific situations. If you were born before May 1st, 1921, and are already getting checks. If you're roughly 90 or older, if you have a mental impairment that makes electronic payment impractical, or if you live somewhere so remote you genuinely have no access to banking. There are also cases where a payment simply isn't eligible for electronic deposit. And quietly, after weeks of final deadline language, the government walked back the idea of forcing every single person off paper, The hardship exceptions are real and they stayed. But hear me clearly. An exception is not automatic. You do not get to keep your check just because you'd prefer it. A man in his late 80s assumed he aged out of the rule and threw away the notices. His payment method got flagged anyway because he never filed anything. And two $1.450 checks stopped before he understood why. You have to qualify, and in most cases you have to ask. If none of those situations fit you, the exception door is closed, and you need to switch. Number 4. If you truly qualify for one of those exceptions, here's the exact step, because this is where people give up too early. The waiver is handled by the U.S. Treasury, not by your local Social Security office, and there's a dedicated line for it. 1-877-874-6347. Write that number down. 1-877-874-6347. Call it. Tell them you're requesting a waiver from the electronic payment requirement and explain which situation applies to you, your age, a disability, no banking access. They will walk you through what they need, and it's one call, not a form you mail and hope for. Do not assume a clerk at the Social Security office can wave it through, and do not assume it happens on its own the moment you turn 90. It doesn't. A woman I read about kept waiting for her paper checks to just keep coming because she was 92. Nobody told her she still had to file the waiver, and her payment method got flagged for the switch anyway. She went 2 months with no deposit and no check, nearly $3,000 in benefits stuck, before a caseworker caught it. One phone call would have settled it. If you have an aging parent who insists on paper, make that call with them on speaker this week. 10 minutes now beats a missed payment later. Number 5. The switch has opened hunting season for scammers, and this is where the real money gets stolen. Fraudsters know the government is contacting people about payment changes, so they impersonate Social Security. You'll get a call, a text, or an email saying your benefits are suspended until you verify your bank account, or that you must confirm your direct deposit by reading them your routing and account numbers. Stop right there. Social Security will not call you out of the blue, threaten to cut your check in an hour, or demand your banking details, gift cards, or a wire transfer to keep your benefits active. That is always a scam. Every single time. The real agency already has your record. Here's the rule that protects you. If someone contacts you about your payment method, hang up, and you call them at the number you looked up yourself. 1-800-772-1213 for Social Security. Never use a number from a text or a voicemail. One senior handed over her account number and online password to a caller who just needed to switch her to direct deposit, and her next $1.740 payment was rerouted to a stranger's account. By the time the bank flagged it, the money was gone and the recovery took months. If you think you were targeted, report it to the SSA Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov the same day. The switch is legitimate. The person calling you about it usually is not. Number 6. The one most people get backwards. When folks without a bank account hear prepaid card, they assume the Direct Express card is the simplest, safest, no-strings choice, and they grab it by default. Here's the flip. For most people who actually can open a bank account, direct deposit into your own account beats the card. Why? With the card, your money lives inside a system you don't fully control. You get one free ATM withdrawal per deposit inside the network, and step outside that, and you can pay around 85 cents to over $3 per withdrawal, plus out-of-network ATM surcharges that often run $3 more on top. Pull cash twice a week, and those small fees can quietly eat $200 or more a year off a fixed income. Picture a man who withdrew $40 every few days at a corner store ATM. By December, he'd paid nearly $220 in fees to reach his own money. The card is genuinely a lifeline for someone with no other option. But it was designed as the backup, not the first choice. Yet people who have a perfectly good credit union down the street still pick the card because it sounds official. The smarter move, if you're able, open a basic, low-fee or no-fee checking account. Many credit unions offer accounts free to seniors with no minimum balance, and have Social Security deposits straight into it. Your full benefit, in your name, in an account you own, with no middle layer skimming access. The action step this week. If you were about to sign up for the card out of habit, pause and ask your local bank or credit union about a free senior checking account first. Choose the card only if you truly can't get an account. So here's your one move for this week. If you or someone you love still gets a paper Social Security check, don't wait for the mail to stop. Call 1-800-77-21213 or log in at ssa.gov and set up direct deposit into your own account today. If you honestly qualify for an exception, call the Treasury waiver line at 1-877-874-6347 and file it. Do it before a payment slips. If this helped, subscribe and share it with one person over 60. That share might be the reminder that saves their check.